concerns about how the story continues unabated or unresolved, if we should put it that way. Prince Bansa is with a cohort of PhD students in the UK. And Prince, I recall your story the last time we spoke. You say that has not changed?
You can hear me. Yes, so some attempts have been made to address the issue. Of course, based on the letter that I've sent to Odame, you've seen that that has not been very significant because as we speak now, they've tried to make some partial payment towards some schools' fees, and also, but some of our colleagues still cannot re-enroll or register, partly also because the new registrar, since assuming office, have not signed or renew any of the letters, award letters for the PhD cohort. So yes, some mechanisms have been taken, but the reality is that it's been woefully inadequate to resolve the problem.
What do you need in the interim?
Okay, so at the moment, what is very eminent is the renewal letters because the reality is that even with those that they've made some partial payment towards their tuition fees, the schools are not allowing them to re-enroll, and so that effort appears to completely been watered down by their inability not to enroll. Some students have also been withdrawn, blocked out, and so the renewal letter, some way, somehow, is able to give an assurance to the universities that the students are still being sponsored by the Ghanaian government. Recently, we've had some situations where the university says they are no longer, some of them say they're no longer even interested in any letter from the GSS because you are already owing them so much money and then you don't want to pay, the previous fees. So I am of the view that even if the new registrar can issue some of the renewal letters that has been piled down, because as far as my understanding from the High Commission here is concerned, all the requests for the renewal letters that has been sent to him, he has not actioned any of them. And so clearly that is also contributing to the issue. So if the students have the renewal letters, for those that have partial payment towards their fees, they may be able to re-enroll. But of course, as you know, the stipends have not been paid. And so for 48 months or 36 months or whatever month you can think of, which is quite very interesting, that a politician in Ghana will never work for that long without taking their salary. This money is not even something that can even sustain payment of rent in the UK anyway. So many students have, not received these stipends at all. I would say more or less like, since inception of this particular government. So
Paint
that
a
is also,
picture. Paint a picture to us. How are you keeping up?
yeah. So I mean, it's the same old story. So many of our colleagues have been jettisoned out of their student accommodation. Some are facing legal evictions. Others have to resort to food banks. It's the same old story, to be honest with you, because there's no end in sight. Recently, unfortunately, we lost one of our colleague in Chester. So last Wednesday, we were there to bury her here in the UK. She's a Ghanaian. Okay, all right. But our colleagues couldn't come because when we advertise it, a lot of them say that, well, Chester is a bit far and they don't have money to even take train to come there. So it's really a very precarious situation. I know that there are issues there, but my challenge as a president is that we are not sitting down to robustly address the issue. I hear that the registrar, put out some one or two things in the media out there, but the reality is that we are not having any conclusive discussion that can lead to a
Yeah.
robust solution,
But
and that is where the problem is.
you told us the last time that there was a meeting between your group and the registrar.
Yes, so the meeting we had with the registrar, that's like ages ago. So, and but the registrar and I, sometimes he calls me, like last week, for instance, he and I spoke, and then we scheduled we're going to speak over the other weekend. Jokingly, I told him that, oh, I know you are not going to call again. He said, oh, no, I'll call you. But till today, we haven't even spoken. I've sent him a couple of messages. I just wanted to get specifics to the issues I've raised before him, which relates to the renewal letters and also the progression for the PhDs. But as we speak, he hasn't even responded. Of course, I know it was going to happen, but we have, as you have seen the letter that we have sent, that letter is sent to the High Commission. Also, the president is also addressing the letter. So we'll get it published out there, and then we'll keep highlighting the issues to see, because the reality is that the fees have not been paid, the stipend have not been paid for a very long time. Then even the renewal letters that can even give some level of confidence to the investors, you haven't even issued one since you took over office, and that is unacceptable. Unless, of course, the government wants to say that they are no longer interested in sponsoring students in the UK, then I think that they have to have some sort of a public
Mm.
announcement or communication to that effect. Then the
Okay.
students can probably withdraw and block and then go back to Ghana or something,
Have
because it's really a very precarious situation. I have my own challenges, but every day I get calls from here, I get messages from here, and it's becoming like, something that is serialized. And you can't just imagine that a government of Ghana that is committed to taking care of their citizens in another man's country, nobody seems to be. For me, my problem is, I understand that they have some sort of challenges, but communicate the challenges, get to the students so that we are all on the same page. But don't conceive the idea and sit somewhere and say that this is what I've decided on. The students are not aware of what you have decided on. So
I,
that's what the problem is.
I'm interested in the amount involved. Have you been able to put a cost to this? Because ever since the conversation has been about the status of students and how much of a trouble it is that many of them are in now. Have you put a
Yes,
cost to this now? Have you been able to
yes.
cost this?
Yes, so the problem even self is that in terms of making adequate costs, we already, the PhDs, we have some sort of synchronized data. So for recently we've had another data which shows that almost about 30 people have not been paid their school fees, their tuition fees from 2024, 2025, and even those who have had some sort of partial payment are not allowed to re-enroll. For the 2025-2026, which we are almost 2 or 3 months into now, our estimation is that it will require almost around £400,000 to address the school fee alone for the PhDs. That number of people who have indicated that they will still be continuing their course and that they are due for fee. And so we have submitted all the data to the GSS. We provided adequate annotation to each of the data that could assist them. But of course, I also understand that they don't have the money, so they are not able to even look on the data. And the ball is now in the court of the government or the finance minister to really like engage all of us, because I really don't, because we are talking about only PhDs here. We haven't talked about the undergraduates and the master students yet. And the master students appear to be the largest cohort. The PhDs, we have lesser number. So you can imagine, if you don't have the data, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to even push forward any sort of demand. But for the PhDs, they have everything and they know how much is involved, except that we are not robustly discussing the issues to get a resolution to it.
Okay, we wait to see what the outcome will be. Grateful for your time, for joining us from the UK. Prince Bansa, president for the PhD cohort of Ghanaian scholars who are receiving support from the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. We'll keep our eyes on that.